What's up, you guys? What's going on, Mike? Hopefully the streaming quality is subpar, at least. Won't be doing a long live. I'll wait just a couple of minutes here. Um, just want to give some folks some updates. Hey, Daryl, long time no see. Hope everybody is doing well. Oh, thank you, Mike. I appreciate that. Yeah, we won't be on here long. I just wanted to give you guys a couple of updates. Just touch base. All right, we're about 3 minutes in, it looks like. What's going on, Jeff? How you doing, buddy? It's always great seeing you. Hope you and the fam are doing well. Uh, so very long story short, we no longer reside, our family in Michigan. We actually moved to Alabama. Um, we have been talking about moving for years. Obviously, that's why if you go to sergeanttank.com on the website, you will notice, it's been that way for several months, that there's a lot of updates that are going to be taking place. And most of those updates aren't even going to be coming, I guess you would say, the transparency until next year or the year after. A lot of logistics went involved of moving. At that time, we were running over 150 active systems from Michigan. Uh, and yeah, I'm not going to bore you with all the details leading up to it, but I'm only one individual. And at that point in time, obviously, priority was a lot of renovations and that and updates that we had to do up north. So not only was my own contractor doing it all, but also I was my own real estate agent as well, and pretty much the one man show for it all. So at that point in time, obviously Sergeant Tank had to be on the back burner, for lack of better terms. Because I know the opportunities for the future. And at this point in time, I don't know where things are going to go as far as with the website and that. It's going to take me obviously quite a bit of time. There's quite a bit I need to do down here and that. So right now, in all honesty, it's just not a priority. So we've had a few emails and that and some inquiries, but like I said, most of the information you guys can find. If there is any updates, it's going to be on the website. You cannot purchase on the website. I've had it that way now for a bit. There's just no sense of justifying the pay the cost to do the full premium at this point in time with the site. That's why you can't even purchase anything. It won't even allow you to do that. You can still get access to it as far as any of the old articles that I've uploaded on there in the past. Any relative links, any products that we had on there, or I still have to go through and just update some of that stuff. But most of that at this point in time, obviously, is pretty much obsolete. Most of that livestock, again, I am about transparency on the way down, moving from Michigan. Um, Unfortunately, I lost about 70% of my stock. The AC went out in our vehicle on the way down. And yeah, let's just say I was basically running on pretty much no sleep for, yeah, about a year or more. So that's pretty much that whole thing is just pretty much a blur. Lost some of my big boys too that you guys have seen in old videos from years back, and a lot of stock. But I don't let it get me down. I've been there, done that. I've been doing this since I was a kid, and yeah, so it's unfortunate. But again, I just want to be transparent with you guys and let you know kind of what's going on from the business side of things. So right now there is going to be no livestock. I don't even have. At some point, I do plan on offering um, uh, to reincorporate. So where if folks do want to obtain any of our Sergeant Tank apparel, at least that option would be there because we go through a third party affiliate or a third party, not affiliate, but a third party company that does that. Where a few years back we used to do it right in Michigan. I used to have all that stuff prepared and processed, and now keep the inventory on hand. But the last 4 years, we've used a outside company to do that. Just made it logistically made more sense, basically. So anybody that's just joined, I appreciate it. It's just going to be a quick update. I'm not going to be on here long. That's why you're just looking at pretty much a brick wall right now in the background. We have a few tanks going at the new property, but yeah, I don't have right now a lot going on, so I'm not even going to bring you. I wouldn't even really call it. I got a bunch of tanks set up. I have airline and all that ran, but like I said, right now, it's just something that's going to be on the back burner for quite some time until other priorities I get those resolved, and then I can focus my attention. Yeah, nobody could prepare, and if folks would be aware, I mean, obviously there'd be a few people behind the scenes that are more in the know of what was kind of come to fruition, that sort of stuff before the move. And I had anybody that's followed me for any period of time knows, you know, as far as the protocols I put in place when it comes to redundancy and having multiple different by lineage and that sort of stuff. But you're talking several thousands retail value of livestock, unfortunately, that I lost on the move. So it is what it is. But at this point, obviously, I got to now start, which I have already been in the works of doing that. But now I got to track down a lot of my bloodline. Because keep in mind, not only was I keeping, redundancy up north in Michigan at the old fish room, but also I had stock in various locations, friends of mine that were also maintaining the same bloodlines. So they'll obviously have those contacts. I can still get it. It's just a matter of getting it here in all of that. But logistically, I'm not going to go into where we're at. We are in Alabama. That's about all I'm going to say. And at some point in time, we can fill folks in a little bit more details. But like I said, just continue. If you want to stock from us, I apologize. If you guys have been looking forward to that. But yeah, so at this point in time, I don't know exactly when I'm going to have livestock even available. Again, my best anticipation, you guys got to keep in mind, when I work bloodlines, I work them for several years. I mean, this is stock. There's only a handful of us with some of the Gudaids that I was maintaining that were actually in the entire U.S. From that standpoint, as far as maintaining. And I work with well over 18 different species of Gudaids from conservation and preservation standpoint, as well as providing those to other hobbyists. And the majority of those, like I said, lost. So Once I get some more bloodline that I had of mine, on top of amongst of a bunch of other lineage outside of Gadaids, then obviously I'll start reproducing those. But yeah, we just moved down here about a month and a half ago. Like I said, anybody that's joining, it was a one-man show from doing all the renovations. Anybody that knows my background, that is my background in construction, building trades, pretty much a jack of. So listing the property, taking the photographs, selling it, blah blah blah. So that consumed obviously a lot of time. So it's just something anybody that knows, for the most part, even through social media, pretty private, and we keep it that way. I'm a firm believer on that. Keep your, personal stuff to outside of social media, and that's why I didn't really let anybody know leading up to it. It's just not my style. So, and with the changes on YouTube and everything else, actually, this channel got pretty much demonetized just because of the inactivity. No issues as far as strikes. I've never had a strike on the channel or anything like that. But yeah, it was demonetized. I don't know, right around the first of the year or something like that. I can't remember when they start implementing. And I don't pay attention, in all honesty, you guys, much with any social media or YouTube. It's changed so much since I first started doing it. So, but let's take a look here at the chat. At least I remember how to go live. Hopefully the internet's good. We got very good internet service where we're at. So, but yeah, we moved out. We got acreage. We plan on doing a bunch on the property. Other endeavors and that sort of stuff outside of the Sergeant Tank thing. Let's see. Venonsky, hello. Sandy, hello. Scott, hello. Rhea, hello. Cosman, hello. Charlie, how you doing, buddy? You have here, my friend. Great to see you. Yeah, I just got a haircut today. She did a phenomenal job. My mother-in-law has actually been a beautician for, gosh, 25 plus years, and unfortunately, obviously, we couldn't bring her down here to Alabama with us. But she's been doing my hair for years and years and years. I'm not even going to go through all that story. Anybody that's been following us since we started the channel, I've already shared all that years back. Carlos, it's always great to see you, brother. I hope you are doing well. You have to get in touch with me. So yeah, we are Susan with SLC Aquatics. We are about 45 minutes or so from her. I know that there's going to be a bunch of other folks once they find out. Obviously, we're down in the Alabama area that I'm sure will at some point probably start reaching out. Maybe at one point or another. But yeah, my focus is down the road, definitely just because of my background and my involvement of doing several different things when it comes to aquarium clubs and that sort of stuff. I used to do a lot here on YouTube to promote and try to educate folks on the importance of aquarium clubs, how they're started, running them. I've been there, done all that. So my focus would be is to assist and support down the road. This isn't going to happen anytime soon, but to get something up and running, obviously here in Alabama, because we ain't moving again. It's a lot of work, especially with 4 kids, and just everything, as you guys can imagine. Anybody that's moved within state, it's one thing, but when you're moving pretty much cross country, it's a whole different ball game. So yeah, my wife and I, we spent, my goodness, about a month and a half commuting back and forth between Michigan, Georgia looking at properties, Alabama looking at properties. Um, we were looking all over the place. I mean, I'm talking several different areas. We have been talking about moving south for many, many years, and we finally just end up doing it. You know, we're not getting any younger. Our kids aren't getting any younger. My oldest is a junior this year, and yeah, so junior in high school. But yeah, so beautiful. We're definitely looking forward to it. It's an absolutely beautiful area. Um, and yeah, Carlos has been there. Yep, not a lot closer to you now, Carlos. That's for sure. I would imagine you're still in Florida. Um, we were even looking around. Obviously, school district had to be an important factor for our kids. And looking at growth opportunities, definitely land was something that for sure we needed. Um, and yeah, we lived in the city. Yeah, I'm a country boy through and through. Um, and growing up, or not growing up, but living in a city for about 20 years, back up in Michigan. Um, yeah, not not a not a city boy. So trip at some point. I love it in Florida. It's beautiful. And I know a lot of folks in Florida, a lot. So obviously we're not too far from you all there in Tennessee. Um, we're about 2.5 hours from Nashville, which is one of my favorite places on the planet. And uh, yeah, so it's kind of nice. I mean, we're not too far. We're about with stops and stuff, we're about 12, 13 hours from where we used to reside in Michigan. Yeah, no big topics, you guys. Like I said, just wanted to pop on here. I don't. I mean, if you guys have any questions or if you just want to talk amongst yourselves, that's completely fine. I didn't plan on turning this into a big long live stream. I definitely appreciate. It's always nice to see folks that have been here pretty much since the beginning, and it's great to see you all. I hope that you all been doing okay. A lot of good creeks. Oh yeah, yeah. We're looking forward to exploring. That's for sure. Absolutely. Anything unexpected that surprised you in Alabama? Yeah, not. I mean, when people call it culture shock, it's not much of a. I blend in with anybody. I would just say my patience level is, you know, I hold standards. And this is just my upbringing. It's years of just experience and exposure, and just growing up very young. I guess entering adulthood at a very, very young age. So my expectations for even the bare minimum in competence level and follow through and commitment and punctuality, you know, I hold, you know, at a very basic level. Maybe some folks hold it at a little bit higher level. One of the things when it comes to punctuality or commitment and follow through, as far as nobody in particular, but when you're making phone calls or if you have to set an appointment or whatever the case may be, it's definitely different. Um, that's one of the downsides. But yeah, my patience is like pretty much my interaction. I'm definitely anybody that knows, and I've been transparent about this before. I've always been, I'm a pet lover. That's what I am. So yeah, I'm very much introverted, and yeah, it's just better that I just probably stay home most of the time because my patience runs very thin very quickly. So, um, but other than that, I mean, the cordial and the friendliness um, is way better, obviously. So, much different down here. Up north, completely polar opposites. Down here, everybody is super, super friendly. But we kind of knew that and expected that before we made the change in the move. But it's like when you go anywhere, it's just going to take time to adapt and get used to a different setting. But like I said, most of the time, anyways, we'll be spending the majority of the time right on our property. I mean, there's plenty to keep us occupied here. Like I said, there's a bunch of work to keep me busy um, here as well, just different updates and that need to be done. Uh, and one of the downsides is, you know, the area, when you're dealing with an unincorporated area, let's just put it this way, anybody that understands unincorporated versus an incorporated area um, of their county and that sort of thing, when it comes to permitting and doing things according to code, is pretty much not a thing, unfortunately. So I have my work cut out for me to just get things up to where they should be. Um, that's just one of those situations where, if you don't understand how to do something properly, don't do it. I'm very comfortable, like I said, that is just my background. I've been there, done it all. But yeah, so it's just nothing. Just things obviously to make it our own because this is our forever where we plan on carrying out the rest of our days. So, and having the land is also nice. So there's different things that we want to do as well. I may share down the road. Right now, it's just kind of a pointless conversation. So, but as far as going back with the whole Sergeant Tank thing, um, anybody knows, it's in my blood. I'm not going anywhere when it comes to fish keeping. I've been keeping fish since I was a kid. From a business standpoint, I don't know what the future is going to hold there. Like I said, I got to obtain much of my stock. Unfortunately, I'm not going to go through that again. I already shared that here. To obtain and get a lot of that bloodline back. And then at some point, obviously, it's going to take me a couple of years to redevelop appropriate enough stock to start offering again. And then the direction as far as what I will be breeding, that sort of stuff, could change based on, areas of interest for those who want to acquire livestock and that sort of thing. But yeah, so the best source of information that I will say over Facebook, Instagram. I don't really do anything on YouTube or pay much attention to any social media. That's why you haven't seen any updates on any of our social media links. Um, is just there's other interest, obviously, for myself too. But um, yeah, I just kind of felt like it was appropriate. I figured while I have a couple of minutes here, I wanted to jump on and just let people know. Obviously, we're here, we're doing fine, um, and as far as with the whole YouTube thing, I mean, I probably feel most, I'm not going to assume, but I would say the majority probably realize, YouTube is probably a thing of the past for Sergeant Tank. If anything I do in the future when it comes to YouTube, and I mentioned this several several times in the past, it's going to be more geared towards just updating folks on livestock and that sort of stuff of what we would have available on the site. Once we get stock going again, I'm not going to be ordering in stock. I have plenty of resources where I could do that. I could import stuff. It's just not what I'm going to do. So as far as from a business standpoint, it's never been a direction of mine. That would be the quick and easy way. But yeah, that's just not what I'm going to do. It's not my focus. So my wife is in here. Catastic says show the view. Let's see if I can do this now without messing things up. So this right here is our front yard. As you can see, I got to regrade. I'll be bringing in a skid steer and regrading all of this properly. And yeah, so it's gravel driveway, but part of living out in the country, the joys. So we got Terry in the house. How you doing? Peplin Creek Aquatics. Hello. Yeah, thanks, Carlos. Yeah. So, like I said, I mean, we toured and looked at several houses, toured several, but again, I will nitpick like nobody's business, especially from a structural integrity standpoint. Just because of my background, I will go through. I literally brought pretty much my own inspection equipment. Even though I didn't actually end up pulling it out and using all of it. But yeah, so I mean, we drove pretty far south, as one example. I'm not going to mention where, in Georgia. And I literally walked in and I turned around and walked out. I said, we're going. So, but yeah, it was kind of a nightmare. We end up getting in contact with a good agent down here, and she ended up picking up the slack from many different folks who was dropping the ball. Because when you're trying to deal with agents from Michigan down south or anywhere for that matter, and I got to be the one taking the initiative when you're the one supposed to be doing your job. If I got to do your job for you, then we're not gonna get along too well. So, I will can you faster than you know what. So, but we're here now. We're settling in. That's why I haven't done any updates. I haven't done a live. I don't even know last time I even went live on YouTube. Anybody that's just joining, again, I appreciate it. We are now in Alabama. I'm going to leave it at that. And family and everybody's doing fine. So we moved down here from Michigan about a month and a half ago. And it will be a bit of time. We end up losing over 70% of my stock. I've been line breeding and my bloodlines I've been working on for many years. Unfortunately, on the commute down. So we end up losing the AC. Anybody that knows, obviously, a south, even up north, it gets extremely hot. And end up going out to Kentucky, and I mean temps end up increasing, and woulda, coulda, shoulda. Hindsight's always 2020. Yes, I could have had cold packs on hand. I could have had extra aerators. Blah blah blah. Literally, we commuted. We left Michigan. I think it was like 9 o'clock at night, Eastern time, and we just drove through the night. So by the time it ended up going out, we were running on fumes. And at that point in time, what was over um, was already done. So there was no coming back from that. I have a ton of your super res. If you ever want some back, just say the word. I appreciate it. Yep. I know many of you folks will absolutely. I definitely appreciate that. Like I was saying a little while ago, I've been in contacts with. I'm fortunate there. I didn't lose everything, um, and I do have some of my stock. It's unfortunate. The stuff that's going to be more challenging for me to obtain is going to be a lot of my Gudaids. I was working on years of Gudaids and a lot with conservation and preservation. And Gudaids, I'm very, very particular. Anybody obviously has ordered Gudaids from us knows and understands the importance and the time that I put into when it comes to actually shipping, because they are very, very sensitive. Not only just taking them out of a tank and acclimatizing them, or bringing them to a fish auction or a fish club meeting or whatever the case might be in a bag, they're very sensitive from that point of view. But there's much more that goes into it when it comes to processing them to get them to ship. So right now, because of the temps and that sort of thing, I'm holding off on having any of those shipped down to us. Um, and I'm not. I don't want to drive anywhere. Like I was saying a little bit ago, several commutes back and forth driving between Michigan, Alabama, Georgia, um, and that sort of thing. Just looking at houses, trying to find property for a month straight, basically. That took a lot out of me, and I don't want to commute. I know where I can get stock if I want to travel a little ways um, to get some of that lineage. But yeah, right now I'm not going to be traveling anywhere, and I'm not going to be having anything shipped in at this point. So it's just pretty much the stock that I have, and much of that stock um, I'll eventually start pulling from. And then once I get water in systems, we were working on that about 3 weekends ago. We've only been down here for about a month and a half, and I got to get water and that added and get those ready to go, and then I can start adding some stock. But right now, like I said, the focus is in other areas, priority wise, before I can start focusing on any of that stuff and breeding and all of that. And when it comes to the Gudaids, they have to be from a source that I am aware of. It has to be a reputable source. I mean, majority of all my stock in the past I obtained from Pat Hartman. Um, and if anybody knows, he's a pinnacle in the hobby when it comes to um, Gudaids, live bears in general. Um, but yeah, so I again, it has to be very specific. And I know now more folks do have Gudaids. Obviously, we've supplied a lot over the years throughout the U.S. And but again, I'm narrowing it down. I'm putting together a list, and I'm slowly starting to reach out to contacts to eventually acquire some of my bloodline. Because again, it has to be a source that I know has maintained and kept the bloodlines appropriate, and haven't mixed those with, let's say, different collection points or that sort of thing. So, any clubs nearby? No, there isn't. I know that they tried to get one, not where we're at. I know that they tried starting one up, like I was saying at the beginning of the live. Um, because of my background and my involvement, and I've done a lot here on YouTube. I did a lot of series talking about starting a club, the importance of aquarium clubs, dealing with Breeders' Award Program, HAP, uh, being involved in the club, different volunteer opportunities, auctions, so on and so forth. And obviously holding many different positions back up north at the club I was at in the past. So again, taking that and be able to incorporate that down here eventually in the future is something that I plan to do to help and support to get something eventually going down in the area. Once we get more familiar with the area, like I said, that wouldn't even take place probably for a couple of years, in all honesty. We got Matt in the house. How you doing? I don't know who you are and what you've done. Yeah, yeah. I think some folks probably look at me like, "What's going on?" So, yeah, I've been growing this out since November. It's not going to go anywhere. The beard will maintain. Yeah, I like it too much. Um, I've always had some sort of beard, but obviously never at this stage. Yep, and I just got my hair cut today. Yeah, she messed up here. I'm very particular when it comes to anybody knows. I used to just do my own, just a half, so no guard. It's just easy and just do it yourself. But yeah, I've wanted a fade, but she went a little bit too much modified cop cut style, which I've had similar looks like this in the past. But yeah, it is what it is. My hair grows super fast. Um, in Tums, growing a lot of eelgrass in Tums. I know where you got the inspiration. I know where you got the inspiration. I got a whole bunch of least killifish wild and trying to breed. Yep, I've done a lot of the Heterandria formosa, which is your least killifish. Those are a beautiful specimen. I've had those from different collection points. Those are a really neat fish. They can pose the challenges, even though those little buggers, not the smallest of the live bears, but they are small. Charlie said chick magnet. Yeah, I don't go anywhere for that, Charlie. And the only chick I need is my wife. Had to do a double take, yeah. Susan posted with Susan, anybody that follows or friends with her, SLC Aquatics, like I was saying earlier, Susan is known. A few folks have known, obviously, leading up to this. Obviously, she's known for a while before we made the move. She's about 45 minutes south of us. So, yeah. She's Grandma Susan down here for the kids. Um, Jeremy taught me most of what I've used to be successful in my breeding wholesale endeavors, Reverend Dan. I appreciate that, buddy. I definitely do. I know, right, Carlos? 38 degrees. I know it's insane. Yeah, they kept those in a um, I've kept those in a small like fish bowl before. Just kind of aquascape it and have some plants coming out. It looks really nice. My peep said I got no notifications. Yeah, don't feel bad. Like I was saying earlier on, wasn't planning on doing a live, but hey, if you guys are hanging out, I don't mind hanging out with you. Figure I'll take a little bit here and just give some folks some updates. But yeah, this channel got demonetized, not because of strikes or anything like that, just because of inactivity. I can get it remonetized, but in all honesty, you guys, um, yeah, I don't foresee myself doing like I used to here on YouTube. I think that was probably pretty evident about 3 years ago. But yeah, when it comes to notifications, the best thing I can recommend is just periodically, and that goes for anybody you subscribe to, is go in there. And once you hit subscribe, you can even unsubscribe and then resubscribe. And then once it pops up with that box, just make sure you hit the little option that says all notifications. Turn on all notifications, and that way you'll get updates. Same thing like with community posts and that sort of stuff. Because I do, if I'm not going to do a live here on YouTube, basically I use the community section here on YouTube for various updates. And if you want another source for updates, the best option is to visit our website. Even though you can't purchase anything on there right now, yeah, I haven't taken the site down. I'm still paying a fee just to keep it up there right now, just so folks, I can still offer some things as far as information on there. And I plan on at some point probably offering our apparel and that for sale again. But yeah, I don't know when that's going to happen. Carlos has been buying more fish books. Keep busy. Yep, right on. Gotta know it's right away. I was trying to move a 100-gallon tank yesterday and cracked it. Yeah, it's been there. Many of us have. I know that's it. It definitely stinks. That's for sure. It's not fun. um, yeah. Again, hindsight's always 20/20. What I always tell folks when you're moving any type of tank, and my wife and my kids know this just through repetition. Doesn't matter the size of the tank. If you can, there's different things. Again, hindsight is always 20/20, so maybe it's just kind of a moot point. But um, what I always tell them is never put your hands on the glass. So what I mean by that, when you're lifting up, if we're talking a standard aquarium with the trim and that sort of thing, don't put your hand directly on the glass because of that pressure. Keep your hands maintained on the trim. If it's a heavier tank, ideally have 4 people, 1 on each corner, and all lift at a level point as best as you can and then transport it. I've done other cases where I've taken like a piece of plywood and slipped it under there and used the plywood and then have either handles attached to it or just use the plywood to then transport with a few individuals. Obviously, the bigger the size tank, you can use those suction things. Make sure that they're good quality if you are going to use those. But personally, I wouldn't rely on those. I would do one of the other couple of methods I just mentioned, but yeah, not fun. Anybody that's been in it for any period of time, we've all been there. And they're starting to have fry, and we'll get those species out to you, Matt said. I appreciate it. Well, I'm at the bottom of the chat, you guys. We've been going for about 45 minutes. It's good to touch base with you guys and just catch up. This won't be a regular thing, I can tell you that. I just wanted to hop on here and just kind of give folks an update on what's going on. But yeah, I'll give it a couple of minutes here because I know the delay. Still looking at local waterways. See what I can find. Hey, Mike, I appreciate it very much, buddy. You take care. Carlos. You too, brother. I appreciate it. Whoops. Sorry about that, you guys. Um, yeah, I'll touch base with you here in the near future, Carlos. Yeah, definitely. No luck this week. I caught a raccoon trying to get a koi out of my pond. Any ideas on how to keep them out? Oh man. Oh, raccoons can be stinkers, that's for sure. Let's just say I'll reserve what I would do here on YouTube due to the fact of not wanting to offend. Um, Thanks for the update. No problem. Uh, Carlos said garlic repels raccoons. Garlic cloves. So what do you recommend with that, Carlos? Put pieces near the pond. Yep. I was just gonna ask. How would you distribute that? Charlie said 12 gauge. Yeah. See? Yeah. Uh, wood has to be fresh. All right, you guys. I am gonna call it quits here for the live. Appreciate y'all joining. And like I said, check out the community tab. Just make sure that your notifications, like I said, are on. And if we do any updates, I'll probably do it through the community section on YouTube, or you can always check sergeanttank.com, the website, for any updates on there. In all honesty, would be your um, best source. Raccoons push my marginal into the tub. Fish are too small for them to bother. Um, get bare electrical fence for camping to put around the pond. Was that good? Yeah, do that. All right. All right, you guys. Take it easy and laugh out loud, Rusty on typing. All right, you guys. Take care.